What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Ashley here. It is time to jump straight into some warm-up mini band movements we can do pre-skate session. Hold on. Before we get going, let's talk about why we warm up, just to get on the same page here. Now, most of us know that we warm up because it's going to help us prevent injury instead of just jumping right on that skateboard. Now, that is true. The other part of that, doing a warm-up prior to skating, is also going to help get that brain and that body connected and present with each other. Now, also adding in mini bands to your warm-up is going to help us wake up those small muscle fibers and those big muscle fibers so that everybody on this temple called your body is working together, so that when you get out on that skateboard, you're going to feel ready and raring to go, but also more powerful and strong right out the gate. Okay, great. Now we're going to jump right in. I'm going to show you a couple different movements you can do prior to your skating with these mini bands. One thing to note, actually two things to note, mini bands. You are going to see these mini bands throughout this video on different parts of our body. Now, since this is a warm-up video, we're going to focus on core and lower body. So we're going to see these mini bands above the knee, below the knee, or even closer to the ankle, or even on the foot. So pay attention. I'm going to ask that you match wherever I have the mini band placed. All right, and final thing is to remember, every single movement I'm going to be showing you today is all about keeping tension in these bands. If there's anything you do through these movements, it's all about keeping tension in these bands. So there might be movements where we bring our legs or feet in and out. Your goal is to still have tension. It should still feel challenging at this end range and this end range. I should never see the bands get floppy. All right, now let's get into it. Perfect. Here we go. Exercise number 1. It's going to be a series of walks. Now, what we're doing, we are going to start with toe walks. Toe walks, literally, we're getting up on those toes like we're wearing invisible high heels and we're walking with that band on. Check it out. Awesome. So you can see here, I have the band right above my ankle. From there, I'm focused on keeping my ankles hip distance, never letting them come any closer as I walk. Really high with those heels, and I'm walking. Now note here that we want to take nice small steps so that we don't let those ankles come together. So nice small steps so that you can really focus on keeping your heels high and making sure those ankles stay apart. Now this one's awesome because it's going to help us wake up those ankles, especially wake up our ankles in that range. Because think about it, as skaters, sometimes we got to jump off that board. Sometimes we land on one foot and then to the other. We're often landing a lot up on our toe and ball of our foot. So we got to make sure that our ankles are strong and comfortable in that high elevated range. Now, this is one you want to do for about 20, 30 seconds, 2-3 rounds max. Let's talk about our next move. Next movement we're doing, literally exact same thing, except we're walking on our heels. So we're doing a heel walk. With that one, same band placement, and now we're lifting the toes and we're walking, keeping those toes up. Check this one out. All right, cool. So you can see mini band is in the same spot, right above the ankle, and we're keeping those ankles apart, hip distance, all the way through, still taking those small steps, but this time we're straightening out the legs and we're lifting the toes as high as we can get them, just like we did with our heel in the toe walk. So lifting our toes as high as we can is the goal here. Now, same thing with this walk. We want to do this one about 20, 30 seconds, 2-3 rounds. All right, great. Let's jump right into the next. Now, after you do your walks, your toe walks, your heel walks, 2-3 rounds, 20 to 30 seconds, we move into this one. This one is our standing abduction. This one is awesome for skaters especially. Now, for this one, we are going to need a wall or a chair or something that we can hold ourselves up with so we don't have to focus on just trying to balance here. So we want to take balance out of the equation so that we can just focus on bringing our knee in and out away from the body. Check this one out. Now, when you're setting up for this one, you want to think about using the hand to support you on the wall or chair, the hand that is opposite of the leg you're standing on. Perfect. Now you notice how I set up here. I'm getting into a skate stance, the same stance I would similarly as I was standing on my skateboard. My hips are bending, my knees are bending, and my ankles are bending. And then my goal here is bringing that knee out, holding it a second, and then bringing it in with control. So again, bringing the knee out, holding it a second, and then bringing it back in with control. Now you notice I'm never allowing that band to get floppy when I bring that knee back in. And of course, always remember to do both sides. Great. Now this standing abduction, we want to make sure we do this one 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side, and repeat it 2 to 3 rounds max. All right, great. We finished our walks. We finished our standing abduction. Now we're moving on. We're going to focus in on the hips and specifically the hip flexor. So we're going to be doing a banded knee drive. So for this one, we're going to be putting the band around the middle of the foot and driving that knee straight up. Check it out. All right, perfect. So you can see I've got that band right around the middle line of my foot. Same thing as before, I'm planting one foot into the ground, I'm back in that skate stance, and then I'm focusing on driving that knee up and right back down. Driving it up, putting it right back down, really working on quickness, but also control. Now, as you notice, I'm really trying to bring my foot back down to where I started so that I have tension in that band as I go up and as I come back down. Now I might even use my hands to help me really bring that knee up and work on my timing of the movement. Now, if this one is challenging and you are losing your balance at all, feel free to slow it down. Think about bringing the knee up, controlling it at the top, holding it, and then slowly bringing it back down. Bringing it up, holding it, and slowly bringing it back down. This one is also going to feel a little bit more challenging in terms of what your body is actually feeling that, because we're holding more so than moving in and out. But if balance is a challenge here, then go ahead and try the slowed down version so you can really get the movement, the feel for the movement. Perfect. We just finished up those knee drives, both sides, 2 to 3 rounds, and we're moving on. Now, coming up next, we're going to just focus in on the ankles and really make sure they're nice and primed and ready to go, because we know how important ankles are when it comes to our skating. All right, so first one we're going to do to focus on the ankles is what we call inversion and eversion. So again, we're having the band on the middle of the foot, and we're focusing on just rolling the feet out and rolling the feet in. All right, so again, band on the middle of the foot. From here, what we're doing is we're literally thinking about that ankle bone. We're trying to roll the ankle, literally as if you were gonna roll your ankle, right? And then we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna bring that ankle in, try to roll the ankle in. You're really trying to look to see how far can you go rolling that ankle out and rolling that ankle in. This is gonna help strengthen and get us back to full range. So sometimes when we roll or hurt the ankle, we often lose the ability to fully roll those ankles out or in. So this is going to help us get that range back in our ankle, as well as strengthen us as we slow down and bringing it out, holding it, bringing it back in. That's going to create more strength for ankles to be able to control that whole range and moving through that range. And for this one, I would say, let's do this one. Same thing, about 20, 30 seconds, really working on controlling those ankles, slowing it down, holding the end range out, holding that end range in. Now, after you've done that eversion, inversion, rolling them in and out, I'd say 2 rounds max, we move right on to the next. Now we're still focusing on the ankles, but we're going to start making it more of like a plyometric movement, more of a jumping movement to prepare the ankle for what we're about to go do on that skateboard. So first thing we're going to do here in this plyometric movement is going to be a banded single leg hop. Exactly what it sounds like. We're going to be hopping on one leg, focusing on keeping tension in that band. Check this one out. All right, cool. So for this one, what we're doing is we got that band right above the knee again. And what we're doing is we're focusing on standing on one leg. And as I'm hopping on that leg, my focus is making sure those knees stay hip distance and those knees never cave in. Again, making sure that I never lose tension in that band. Coming up next, we're going right into double leg hops now. So we're going to have that band in the same spot, and instead of single leg, we're jumping on both legs so we can start really focusing on height. We got the band above the knee. We're keeping those knees hip distance as we jump up and down, really thinking about trying to explode off the ground, really working on our height here. All right, final plyo banded movement is our banded twisted hops. This one is really going to wake up our spine and get us rotating so that we're ready to do any sort of rotation. If you're working on 180s and 360s, whatever it is, especially if we're rotating the board as we do that. Check this one out. All right, perfect. So again, same thing, got the band above the knee, and we're really focusing on twisting those hips and trying to bring our shoulders the other direction as we do it. And you know what I want to keep those knees hip distance all the way through so we keep that tension in that mini band. Awesome, so you're gonna wanna work through these 3 banded plyo movements, 2 to 3 rounds. All right, great. We are at our final movement, y'all. We have just woken up that whole lower body, especially those ankles and hips. Now we're gonna end with a little bit of core to get the core ready, awake, so we can get out and skate. All right, our core movement is gonna be a trunk rotation. So we're headed to the floor with that mini band on. All right, now for this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually put our hands at our side. We're gonna rest our head on the ground, and we have that band above the knee. Now from here, you know what we want. We want to keep those knees hip distance. Keeping tension in the band is number 1. As we do this, we're going to try to keep our knees at this 90 degree. And we're going to let those knees slowly go to the side and rotate. Then we're going to bring them right back up, and we're going to do it on the other side. Now the other thing you want to think about are your shoulders. As you're bringing your knees to your side, you want to think about keeping those shoulders square and down on the floor. So as you're rotating your knees to the left, if you're feeling that right shoulder lift off the ground, you've gone too far. So try to focus on keeping the shoulders down on the ground, facing square, and then only bring your knees as far as you can to one side without your shoulders lifting up. And then bring it back to center and try it again on the other side. This one's an awesome one. All right, for this trunk rotation, I would recommend doing this one for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how you're feeling. Work your way up towards a minute. 2 to 3 rounds max. All right, y'all, there it is. Start getting the habit of warming up, especially with these mini bands. Let us know how it goes, and stay tuned because we're gonna have another mini band strength video with movements you can do just throughout your week to keep you strong on and off that board. So keep an eye out, and I'll see you soon.